Welcome to this video on Articulate Rise themes. So in this video, we're going to have a look at the options in the theme section when you have an Articulate Rise course, which is what I've got right in front of me. If you've watched any other videos on the channel, you might recognise this Outlook calendar e-learning course that we were creating together. So if you are the owner or a manager of an e-learning course in Articulate Rise, you'll see theme in the top right hand corner with all the other options, and I'm going to click on that. And when you do, what you'll see on the left hand side is the different options that you can do to personalize or configure the theme. Now in Articulate Rise, you are limited with your options, which actually makes it a little bit easier sometimes, because then you can just key a few things in, put fonts and colours in, choose images, choose your style, and then you're pretty much done. You don't have to make too many decisions, which is really, really great. So there's 5 options there on the left. There's actually 6 options on the left we're going to look at. There is 5 in the bold section, and then there's the overall theme. So I'm currently using the Rise theme, but if I click on change theme, you can see there's 3 options. I've got Rise, I've got Apex, and I have Horizon. Now if I click on each of those, you'll see that there are some differences with a font style, placement, all sorts of stuff like that. It is just a microlearning course I'm looking at, so there might be some slightly different themes that you can have a look at in a full Articulate Rise course, but this gives you a bit of an idea. Obviously you can add fonts and stuff like that, and obviously you can change the photos, but it just gives you an idea of what you might choose. So when you click on them, have a look which one works best for you, and then you can either go back and save if you're changing it, or if you're leaving it as it is, which I'm going to leave Rise. I'm just going to use the back button in the top left hand corner. And then once you've set that theme at the top, it's really important to do that first, because if you start changing anything else in the bold section and then you go and change your theme, you're going to have to redo all of your work, which is a little bit frustrating. So set that overall theme first, and then you can go into the 5 sections below and just customize even further. So cover page there, you can see I have an image, and I've got the edit option to drop in my own image. If I click on that, so you can see what that looks like, I can replace an image, I can upload one, I can add one from content library, I can crop an image, I can overlay, and obviously I can put an alt tag in there, so that's really helpful for screen readers and things like that from an accessibility point of view. So you can go in and add whatever image works for your course. You can see there's a few layouts as well. There's an accent, so we'll talk about accents in a minute when we look at the colour section, and there's just a white background. So there are just a few options here to play around with. I'm going to leave it as the image, and I'm going to leave that image as it is, just for the speed of this video to go through all the options. So let me click on back and have a look at navigation. So within Articulate Rise, you have 2 main options. You can have continuous, which is like a web page, so a user's just going to scroll down, and if it's a piece of microlearning, there will be just one web page. If it's a full Articulate Rise course, then you're going to have continue buttons, and they will click onto the next web page as such and continue on down. So it's really nice if you like a flow, but there is also a stepped navigation option where it's kind of like more screens and you're clicking onto the next screen. Feels like slides almost, but you really want to make sure that fits well with your content. Sometimes it's really useful when you've got just a small piece, especially of microlearning, and you just want to step quickly through a few things, maybe show them a video, ask them a question, have an interaction, something like that. Stepped navigation might be quite useful. But if you've got a longer piece, then continuous might feel better from a flow point of view. And if you have stepped, you've got the option to have dots, which you can see on the right hand side. I can change that to numbers, and I can also change that to a none as well, and just have the arrows at the top and the bottom. I'm going to leave mine on continuous. And obviously if you make any changes, then you can click save or cancel. I'm just going to save that, and then have a look at the colour section. So each theme will have a set of standard colours, but you can see at the bottom you have a custom. So if you have a brand colour or a specific colour that you want to add in and make that your accent colour, this is where you would go ahead and do that. And you can either select that, or you can be really specific and put the hex code with a hash in and find that exact colour. And then that can be used across the whole of your course. You do have a contrast option as well, dark and light. You can change that too if you want to. And you can just see the colours just change above, just ever so slightly different with the fonts and stuff. So you can see how the contrast might look with the colours and the fonts together. I'm just going to leave auto so that it's really obvious and can really see them. But again, it just gives you a little bit of flexibility when you are setting up the overall theme of your course. Going back then, I've got fonts. So you'll have some standard fonts in there that you can obviously go in and select and look at. There'll be a recommended, or there'll be a set one for each theme, but you can also go in there. And if I click on more, you can see there, this is what is currently set up for this theme. I've got Lato and I've got Merriweather, so I've got a headings font and a body font, but you can also upload your own fonts as well. If you have fonts for your brand and things like that, again, you can only have 2. So again, you can upload as many as you want, but you would only have 2 fonts, a headings font and a body font. So again, it's just reducing the amount of decisions you've got to make and keeping it nice and simple and consistent across all of your course. So very quick and easy to upload those, and then just in the more section here, you would just update that and select whichever one works best for your heading and which one works for your body. And obviously if it changes at any point, if you get a new font, you can go into your theme and just update it in there, and it will automatically update the whole of your course, which is super useful. And finally at the bottom there is just the block section, where you can either have entrance animations on your blocks, which is really useful if you've got a continuous flow, if you're using continuous navigation, so they animate in and animate out. You can obviously turn that on and off, and you can see here sometimes as well, you might find some coming soon options. So depending on whether you watch this when I publish it or these have come since, but it looks like Articulate are going to add some more information into the padding and the corners theming. So again, you can customize your courses even more. So you've got loads of options there. Top tips is remember to choose your overall theme first before you go in and configure that the way you want. Because otherwise, if you change that overall theme, once you've added your fonts and your colours, you're going to have to go in and add those fonts and colours again. And it's painful to duplicate work. So have a look at that, have a play around with your theme, see what works best for your course. Please do like and subscribe, and let me know what videos you'd like to see me record next.